The Broken Script. Part 1. The vanishing act. The auditorium buzzed with nervous energy. Backstage, the cast of Lincoln High's senior play paced, whispered, and rehearsed lines under their breath. It was opening night, the culmination of 3 chaotic months of rehearsals, costume disasters, and last-minute rewrites. The play, The Clockmaker's Curse, was an original script written by their drama teacher, Ms. Patel, and it was supposed to be the highlight of the school year. Jamie, the assistant director and unofficial glue of the group, stood by the prop table, flipping through a clipboard. "Where's the master script?" she asked, scanning the cluttered surface. Alex, the lead actor playing the cursed clockmaker, looked up from his makeup mirror. "You mean the only full copy?" he asked, voice rising. "Yeah," Jamie said slowly. "The one with all the cues, blocking, and final edits." A beat of silence fell over the room. Then chaos erupted. "You're kidding, right?" groaned Maya, who played the time-traveling apprentice. "We don't have backups?" "Ms. Patel said she'd print more, but she left early yesterday," Jamie replied, her voice tight. I thought she gave it to me." "Check the tech booth," someone shouted. "Maybe it's in the costume closet. Did anyone see it during dress rehearsal?" The cast scattered like ants, searching every corner of the theater. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Nothing. Jamie slumped into a folding chair, her clipboard now useless. "We're screwed," she muttered. Alex sat beside her, still half covered in stage makeup. "We can't cancel. The whole school's here. My grandma flew in from Phoenix." "I know," Jamie said, rubbing her temples. "But without the script, we don't have the cues, the transitions, the ending," Maya returned, breathless. "Okay, hear me out. What if we improvise?" Everyone stared. "You mean wing it?" Alex asked. "This isn't a comedy sketch. It's a 2-act drama, with time jumps and a cursed pocket watch." "I'm not saying we make it up completely," Maya said. "We've rehearsed it a dozen times. We know the characters. We remember most of the scenes. We just fill in the blanks." Jamie looked around. The cast was silent, uncertain. Some looked terrified, others intrigued. "Guys," she said, standing, "we have 2 choices. Cancel the show and disappoint everyone, or trust ourselves and make it work." A long pause. Then Alex stood. "Say we do it." "I didn't memorize all those monologues for nothing." Maya grinned. One by one, the cast nodded. A few groaned. "Oh, no one walked away." Jamie grabbed a whiteboard and started sketching out the scene order from memory. "Okay, Act 1 opens in the clock shop. Alex, you're fixing the watch. Maya enters with the letter from the future. Scene 2 is the flashback." "Wait," said Jordan, the stage manager. "What about lighting cues?" "We'll keep it simple," Jamie said. "Blackouts between scenes, no fancy transitions, and sound effects. Live. Improvise. If the watch ticks, someone backstage makes ticking noises." Laughter broke out. Nervous but real. The cast huddled together, scribbling notes, assigning lines, and rehearsing transitions. It was messy, chaotic, but somehow it started to feel exciting. At 7 p.m. sharp, the curtain rose. The audience had no idea what was happening behind the scenes. They saw a confident Alex step into the spotlight, tools in hand, muttering about gears and curses. Maya burst in with dramatic flair, waving a crumpled letter. The dialogue wasn't word for word, but the emotion was there. Story held. Backstage, Jamie whispered cues like a football coach calling plays. Jordan signaled lighting changes with frantic hand gestures. Someone made ticking sounds with a metronome and a microphone. It was theater on the edge. There were stumbles, missed entrance, a forgotten line. But the cast covered for each other, weaving new lines into old ones, turning mistakes into moments. The audience laughed in places they weren't supposed to, but they were engaged. By the end of Act 1, the cast was sweating, breathless, and exhilarated. Jamie peeked through the curtain. The crowd was leaning forward, hooked. She turned to the cast. "We're halfway there," she whispered. "Let's finish this." The Broken Script. Part 2. Rewrite in real time. The curtain closed to thunderous applause. Backstage, the cast collapsed into chairs, gasping for breath and high-fiving like they'd just won a championship game. Jamie leaned against the wall, clipboard forgotten, her heart pounding with adrenaline. "That was insane," Maya said, wiping sweat from her brow. I forgot half my lines and made up a whole subplot about the watch being haunted by a cat. Alex laughed. Honestly, that was my favorite part. The audience loved it. Jordan, the stage manager, peeked through the curtain. Guys, they're still clapping. Jamie blinked. Wait, seriously? Jordan nodded. I think it's part of the show. They're expecting Act 2. A hush fell over the room. We don't have an Act 2, Jamie said slowly. We barely had an Act 1, Maya added. Alex stood up. Then we write it. Right now! You're joking, Jamie said. Nope. We've got 15 minutes, let's finish the story. The cast gathered around a whiteboard, still buzzing from the rush of Act 1. Jamie drew a quick timeline. Okay, so the cursed watch is ticking faster. Time's unraveling. Maya's character just discovered the clockmaker's secret, which is now that he trapped his memories inside the watch, Maya said, improvising. And the cat? Sure, Jamie said, rolling with it. So Act 2 needs resolution. The apprentice has to relive the clockmaker's past to break the curse. Flashbacks, Alex said. We can reuse old scenes but twist them. Exactly, Jamie said. We'll loop back to the beginning, but this time, the apprentice takes control. Jordan scribbled lighting cues on a napkin. We'll dim the lights for flashbacks. Use the ticking sound again. Maybe add a heartbeat. Who's doing the heartbeat? Someone asked. I've got a drumstick and a shoebox, said Leo, the sound tech. I'll make it work. The cast split into pairs, rehearsing new lines, adjusting, blocking, and inventing transitions. It was chaos, but it was creative chaos. Everyone was contributing. Everyone was invested. 10 minutes later, the curtain rose again. Act 2 opened with Maya alone on stage, holding the cursed watch. Her voice trembled not from nerves, but from emotion. Time isn't broken, she said. It's just forgotten. The audience leaned in. Alex entered, now portraying a younger version of the clockmaker. Their dialogue danced between past and present, memory and reality. The cast wove in callbacks from Act 1, turning improvised jokes into poignant moments. The haunted cat subplot somehow became a metaphor for lost innocence. It shouldn't have worked, but it did. Backstage, Jamie watched with awe. This wasn't just a play anymore. It was a living story, reshaped in real time by a group of teenagers who refused to give up. The final scene arrived. Maya stood center stage, holding the watch as it ticked slower and slower. I understand now, she said. Time isn't something we fix, something we feel. The lights dimmed. The ticking stopped. Silence. Then an eruption of applause. The cast took their bows, faces flushed with disbelief and joy. The audience stood, cheering louder than anyone had expected. Parents wiped tears, students whistled. Even Miss Patel, who had arrived late and missed the backstage panic, looked stunned. Stage. Jamie hugged Alex and Maya. We did it, she whispered. No, Maya said, grinning. We lived it. The next day, the school paper ran a headline. Broken script, brilliant show. Rumors spread that the improvisation was intentional, a bold artistic choice. Ms. Patel, still bewildered, called it a testament to student creativity. But the cast knew the truth. They hadn't just performed a play, they'd rewritten it together. In the face of disaster, they chose trust over panic, creativity over perfection.